No, Williams.
Strawberries and something more. Oh yeah, I want it all. Let the step on my guitar. Till at the end we can drive real far. Go dancing underneath the stars. Oh yeah, I want it all. Got me feeling like I wanna be that guy. I wanna kiss your eyes. I wanna drink that smile. I wanna feel like high. Our souls on fire. I wanna stay up all day and all night. Yeah, you got me singing like I love it when you do it like that. And when you're closer, give me the shivers. Oh baby, you wanna dance till the sunlight cracks. When they say the party's over, then we'll bring it right back. Say I love it when you do it like that. When you're closer, give me the shivers. Oh baby, you wanna.
Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us for today's webinar. My name is Kasturi Naidu from Unilever Food Solutions, which is one of the leading food service providers globally. Our presenter today is the Culinary Chef Experience Advisor of Unilever Food Solutions KZN, Chef Danielle Fenter. Today she will highlight recipe costing. Just a little housekeeping before we get started. If you have any questions during the presentation, please type them into the question box. Chef will answer them after the presentation. Now, without any further ado, we will turn our time over to Chef Danielle.
Thank you, Cass. I appreciate the introduction, and it's great to be speaking to you today. I'm going to take you through some costing, recipe costing, and I'm actually going to physically do a costing of a recipe with you. So let's get started. So food costing, so to determine your food cost and to figure out your selling price of your dishes. Okay, the food cost is the most important thing in any restaurant, as it has a direct effect on your profitability of your restaurant. It is the cost of your ingredients, and it does not include other costs such as labor and overheads. Food costing is an essential tool in determining whether your food cost targets are being met. So on a basic recipe costing and understanding the basic recipe costing, it is important so that you can know how much food cost is incurred in each recipe. This gives you a clear view of how much you can earn per dish. Understand how to properly price your dishes to achieve a target profit. Study the way your competitor price their dishes against an industry benchmark. Know when to reduce a recipe cost. If you keep up to date with your costing and see that you are going beyond your target cost percentage, you can easily plan how to reduce the cost. And then find out each menu item's profit margin and decide which ones to promote through sensitive selling and suggestive selling and promotions. So we've got some food costing tools, and the following food costing tools and calculations are important in deriving your food costs. So the first thing is your standard recipe. So costing based on a standard recipe makes it easy to compute food costs based on the serving that you are needed. Then your up-to-date ingredient cost. This will change on a daily basis, but it's easier to do it weekly. And it's your current prices that should be the basis of your costing. This, the need to do a price check from time to time. As I said, you can do it weekly. And then your recipe costing sheet. So for recording data and all information about the recipe, such as current unit cost and actual ingredient cost and your cost per portion. So calculating your recipe cost and how we can apply numbers and costs to each standard recipe. So the first step will be to fill out your recipe costing sheet with information based on the standard recipe to be based on a current price list. Then step 2 will be to indicate the latest purchase cost of each ingredient based on a current price list. Then the third step will be to compute the actual cost of each ingredient. And the fourth step, an actual cost of each ingredient to get to the total recipe cost. Your last step will be to divide the total recipe cost by the number of portions to get the cost per portion. So this might sound extremely complicated right now, but I will take you through how to do the standard recipe cost. So the next slide will just be an example of a recipe costing sheet. So this is your standard recipe. So you will see that on your recipe, it shows the name of your recipe, which is a Cajun chicken salad. It has your ingredients, your amount, and all the ingredients needed. It has the method, your step-by-step method. It has the number of portions that your recipe will yield, and then your recommended selling price of the whole recipe, and then your cost per portion, and your recommended selling price per recipe. So this is where you need to take a couple of notes. So your selling price, once you have your food cost, you can figure out the selling price of your dishes. So the basic formula is your selling price is your food cost plus your labor and your overhead cost, and then plus your profit. So your selling price should indicate all your costs plus the profit you want to earn. So it's no use if you don't add all your overheads or your labor costs, then you're basically working for free. So what should the food cost percentage of your selling price be? So to compute the selling price, we need the food cost to only be a certain percentage of the selling price. So the amount varies from restaurant or any other establishment to establishment and is influenced by other costs such as labor, overheads, target profit, rent, all those things, and generally falls within the profit of 30 to 45%. So your food costing in practice. So here's an example to show how to find the selling price of your dish. So a restaurant has a target food cost percentage of 33%. Their newest recipe was calculated to have a food cost of 50 Rand per portion. So applying the 33% rule, the target selling price is 50 Rand divided by 0.33, which gives you 150 Rand. That will be your selling price. So given this number, the establishment can decide on the final selling price, consider other factors such as your competitors, the volume, and your labor cost. I will now move over and actually go through a recipe with you and do a recipe costing with you. Okay, so on your screen, you will see that you've got a recipe costing, and we're going to cost the Cajun chicken salad. So at the top, I've got the recipe name, your Cajun chicken salad, then your total recipe yield. So as we showed, it was 4 portions. And then your size per portion, if you want to add, if you're doing a dessert and the dessert should be 125 mils per portion, you can do it that way. Then your number of portions, as I said, it's 4. Date costed, which will be today, which is the 10th of February 2022. And then we said we're going to leave your markup at your 0.33, and we will move on. I've added this as a handout on the presentation. It has already calculated your formulas for you, but I would like to show you how to calculate your formulas if you do not have, if you didn't download this. Okay, so we'll first start off with all of your ingredients. So your ingredients will be listed on your left, and then your unit. So this is how much we need for the recipe. This is your unit of measurement, which is either grams, mils, or each. And this is your package size, so the unit of your package. So saying that the chicken breast comes in a 10-kilo box. Remember, we're always going to work in grams, mils, and each. We're not going to move over to kilograms and liters. Then your cost per unit. This will vary it depends how much you buy your chicken for, and we pay 520 Rand for a 10-kilo box of chicken, and it calculates your cost for the recipe for you. If you would like to know how to work that out, you will just use the following, which is an equals. I always work with, I'll write it here for you. Sorry. Most important thing is what you want divided by what you have times your cost. So this is something that you always have to remember, and this is how you will work out all of your costings going forward. So what you want divided by what you have times your cost. So the formula for that we will work out is it's equals, and it will be what you want is 400 grams. Then divide that by what you have, and then times that. I wonder if this will work because I've already got a formula. No, it won't. Sorry about that. Oh, what just happened? Okay, let me just change that here. I'll just do it here. So as you can see the top there, that is your formula. So always start with an equals, and then what you want is C10 divided by what you have, which is the 10 kilo box, which is 10,000 grams. So it's divided by F10, and you times that by the cost per unit, which is G10, and it automatically gives you a cost. So we can move on with the next is lettuce. So we pay R9.99 for the lettuce. See, remember to use your commas. And it works out to R6.66 per recipe. Cucumber was R12.99. We need 100 grams. An average size of a cucumber is about 300. We need 30 mils of oil. We buy it in a 20-liter bucket, and we pay 680 Rand. In cherry tomatoes, we need 100 grams. We buy it in a 500-gram packet, and the cherry tomatoes are extremely expensive at the moment. We pay 32.99. Red onion, we need 50 grams. I would also like to show you that if we needed to change this, we can just press the drop-down arrow, and it doesn't affect your formula, but you can go grams. Oh, let's do that here with the oil. So it was 30 mils. We changed that to milliliter. It doesn't change your formula, but it's just so you have a knowledge of if it is mils or grams, because that is extremely important when doing recipes. So red onion, 50 grams. We buy it in a kilo, and it works out to, we pay 34.99. Your feta, we want 100 grams. It comes in a 4-kilo bucket. We pay 295 Rand and 56 cents. Your carrots, we want 20 grams, and it comes in a kilo. We pay 14.99. Yellow pepper, we want 50 grams, comes in a kilo. We pay 39.99. Robertson's Cajun spice, it comes, we need 10 grams, and we need a kilogram. We pay 144 Rand and 41 cents for the Cajun. And then avocado, as I said, we can change this. So we want one avocado, so we will change this to each. Let me go down a bit. Okay, so we'll change that to each. They come in twos, and we paid 29.99 for the avocados. What your recipe then does, it calculates all of these amounts that your cost per item, and it totals it to the top. So your whole recipe costs 67 Rand and 28 cents. It then formulates and calculates and adds VAT, which is 15%. And then what it does is it divides the cost plus VAT by the number of portions, which is 4. And it works out to 19.34 Rand per portion. Then at times that amount by your 0.33 profit, and it works out to your recommended selling price is 58 Rand and 62 cents. You can now decide if you think that this is compatible with all of your competitors, and if you would like to charge that, or you can decide that you don't want to charge that, and you can charge whatever you would like. Okay, then I would just like you to just tell you guys about this an amazing Unilever Food Solutions Academy app that we've developed. That's a global app, and you can download it from your app store. It's got amazing things that you can learn. It's endorsed by SACA, so you get a little certificate after you've completed a course. It's great to bring up your knowledge. It has anything from food costing, health and safety, the basics, European cooking. So it's amazing for you and your team to do. And then if you want, this is where I've received got my sources from. It's on our website, the food costing, and then also there's the UFS Academy that you can do some training on. And then I would just like to open up if there's anybody that has any questions that they need answers. Let me see. Okay, we do have one question. Okay, if you have a starter portion and a main portion, what is the best way and easiest way to do the costing? Okay, so as I explained with the costing template, search your size per portion. You can then, decide, you can then decide what the sizes of your portion. So if you decide that your starter salad should only be 120 grams, you will add that into your recipe yield, and you will still say that your recipe yields 4 portions. So you can decide anything on that recipe template, how you would want it to break it into. You would then say 120 grams for a salad, which I know is a little bit less, but you're more than welcome to work it out. The best way to work it out is going to have to be to make a salad and then weigh it to work out how that will work. Thank you, Chef Craig, for the question. If we do have any other questions.
Chef, can you just tell us about your handouts?
So thank you, Cass. Our handouts is on the right-hand side of the screen. We've got the whole presentation for you to go through, as well as the recipe costing template on Excel, which has got the formulations already added into it. So all you have to do is change your recipe ingredients, how much you'll need, so your unit per measure, as well as your cost, and it will work out everything else for you.
And then, Chef, can you just tell us about your Instagram?
Yes, thank you, Cass. So I'll put it up on the screen. So my handle is at, what's my handle?
Chef Danielle.
At Chef Danielle _SA on Instagram. I've got a couple of awesome reels that I post every now and then about amazing recipes we're developing. We've just been trying out some vegan recipes at the moment. So please follow me on Instagram. I'll do a little shout out for all of my new webinar followers.
Great, thank you, Chef. And just to ask, if you have any suggestions for future webinar topics, please put them into the chat box. Thank you, everyone, once again. We really appreciate you being here. Chef Danielle will be running another webinar. We will send out an emailer, so please look out for that. Thanks again for joining, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. If you've got any questions, you're more than welcome to ask me on Instagram as well. I'm always available. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye.